Dennis here with Cappel Training and Shoeing. This is a recap on the video that we did of retraining Brilliant Attitude, that Mustang that I showed in Fort Worth. This video has got a tremendous amount of information in it. At first you might think there's not much happening here, but you know, that horse has quite a story. In fact, he's got his book, and I'll talk about that. He's got his own book. I'll talk about that a little bit later. You know, that horse was captured in the wild, and we don't know what goes on with those horses when they're out there like that. Nobody does, you know, but they live out in the environment where there's mountain lions and there's snakes and there's all kind of predators out there that they have to be on guard for. The ones that aren't on guard, they don't survive. So horses that have learned how to survive out there have a little different way of looking at things than our domestic horses do. Yes, they're horses, you know, and domestic horses are horses as well, but the living arrangement that those horses are brought up in, I think it does make a difference to them. And you know, when you think about those Mustangs, I've done several of those Mustang makeovers, and I really enjoy them. And I don't get emotionally involved with the horses I train. However, with those Mustangs, there hasn't been a single one of them that I've trained that I didn't get emotionally involved with. And I've noticed that every trainer, every Mustang trainer that I've been around will have a similar experience. I think part of the reason is because that's really part of our ancestry that we're working with. You know, that these are horses that our forefathers were involved with in some way. Now, how they're being managed now and all that stuff is immaterial, but the fact is those horses come out of our ancestry. And the other thing is, what one of us doesn't want to have freedom? We've taken those horses out of freedom where they could do whatever they wanted to do, and we've asked them to get along in our world. Now, I don't know about you all, but if somebody was to come in and take my freedom away, I probably wouldn't be very agreeable. I'd probably be a lot worse than this horse. But anyway, this is his story, and this video has got a lot of technique in it. Let's just call it technique. And I've got a bag there and a stick and a pole on the ground, and you'll see me utilize those things based on what I'm seeing in the horse. This horse is truly fearful of this bag that I've got in my hand. He's not faking it at all. You know, if he had his druthers, he would just want to leave and not have anything to do with it. However, to survive in our world, it's best for him if he does accept it. Otherwise, he's going to go through this turmoil every time he gets up in captivity. And, you know, that's not a good place for a horse to be. So that's part of the reason I'm going to help him through this. The other thing is I'm going to start using him, you know, to start these colts with, and we're probably going to start roping on him a little bit down the road. So you're getting to see the beginning of the retraining progress. When he came home from that makeover was in 2017. We purchased him there and we brought him home, and he's been running loose with what we believe is at least a half brother to him. They look almost alike, a horse we call CC Serenity. And Serenity has a completely different attitude than Brilliant Attitude. We had named Brilliant Attitude prior to us getting him even, and we had wanted a big pretty bay horse with a big kind eye that was very trainable, and voila, he showed up. His brother, on the other hand, is wilder than March hare, and he hasn't accepted any part of training, nor do I try to train him even, because he's just so troubled about it that there's no need to put him through it. So he gets to run out in the pasture and live like he did when he was in the wild. So Brilliant Attitude has been running out with him since 2017, really. We don't hardly do much with him. You know, once in a while we'll have a function and people, you know, come and get around him. But most of the time he's been out there sort of going back to his wild ways. So the horse hadn't been hardly in the barn for about a year, and when we did this video, and you're going to see how I deal with it and what his response is. And I think it's pretty neat how he comes around to accepting it. That horse exhibited a tremendous amount of trust because of the way I was presenting these obstacles to him that he was petrified of. And he trusted that if I'm there in his presence, and this is something that I am involved with, he can handle it. He didn't start out that way, but he came around to that. And then there's just a lot of different things that you can do. You'll notice he'll watch his body position as he's going around. You're going to see this horse exhibit things that I talk about in most of my videos. You're going to see him use his shoulders as a defensive tool. You're going to see him looking out at one side of his body and thinking about fleeing out the other way. You're going to see him not wanting to move forward. You're going to see him accept forward motion. You're going to see him accept energy. Let's call it steady energy until he accepts it and gets comfortable under it. Watch the change in him as he gets comfortable. Especially watch when he's over there on that pole, and he knows that going across it is a good thing. So he used that as an escape. He goes, oh, here, I'll just go over here and cross this pole without me telling him. And it just shows how horses will do almost anything to avoid the pressure that they deem as something that's dangerous to them. This horse has always been bothered about things on the ground, and I suspect, if something came up off the ground and probably hurt him somewhere, and he's got a memory of it anyway, he thinks it's going to hurt him, so he doesn't want to stand around there and wait for it. So, but anyway, you can get the details of that in this book. This is a book that actually Cindy wrote from the perspective of the horse. And I believe she's right on how she wrote it. She knows the horse, she knows the attitude, she knows how he came about, she knows what he went through, and that all the people that were involved. This is quite a story, and I think you'll really enjoy it. So we'd like to encourage you to get this book. You can get it on Amazon, or you can get it from us. The other thing is, the videos that we're watching, if you like them, please hit subscribe. I mean, the information's free to you. Tell your friends about it. We'd be glad to have a larger audience of people watching these videos. So that's why we're doing them, and it really helps us out when you hit subscribe. Thank you very much.